First up on our countdown comes Pizza Tower, a chaotic masterpiece that perfectly captures the essence of 90s cartoon animation. This indie gem throws players into the boots of Peppino Spaghetti, an anxious pizza chef on a mission to save his restaurant from destruction. The game excels in its hand-drawn animation style that feels like watching a Saturday morning cartoon come to life. Every frame bursts with personality and fluid motion that rivals professional animation studios. The gameplay mechanics center around momentum-based platforming, where speed and aggression are rewarded over careful precision. Players dash through levels collecting top ends while building combo multipliers that encourage risk-taking and fast-paced decision-making. The soundtrack perfectly complements the frantic energy with upbeat Italian-inspired tracks that never fail to get your blood pumping. Boss battles are particularly memorable, featuring creative patterns and hilarious character designs that showcase the developers' attention to detail and commitment to fun over everything else. Natural Gaming Girl, second on our journey, brings us to Celeste, a precision platformer that masterfully weaves mental health themes into challenging gameplay mechanics. This indie darling follows Madeline as she attempts to climb the treacherous Celeste Mountain while battling her inner demons both literally and figuratively. The game stands out for its pixel-perfect controls that make every death feel like a learning opportunity rather than a frustrating setback. Each screen presents a carefully crafted puzzle that requires precise timing and creative thinking to overcome. The assist options are brilliantly implemented, allowing players of all skill levels to experience the story without compromising the intended challenge for those who want it. The narrative tackles anxiety and depression with remarkable sensitivity and authenticity, creating genuine emotional connections between players and the protagonist. Collectible strawberries and hidden areas provide additional challenges for completionists without feeling mandatory for casual players. The ethereal soundtrack, composed by Lena Raine, elevates every moment, perfectly matching the emotional beats of both gameplay and story progression throughout the entire adventure. Third position belongs to Cuphead, a visually stunning run-and-gun platformer that recreates the golden age of 1930s cartoon animation with painstaking attention to detail. This challenging adventure puts players in control of Cuphead and Mugman as they traverse hand-drawn worlds filled with creative boss encounters and traditional platforming segments. The game's most striking feature is its authentic rubber hose animation style, with every frame hand-drawn and colored to match the aesthetic of classic Disney and Fleischer Studios cartoons. The difficulty level is intentionally punishing, requiring players to memorize attack patterns and execute precise movements to progress through each encounter. Boss fights are the main attraction, featuring imaginative designs that transform multiple times throughout each battle to keep players constantly adapting their strategies. The jazz-influenced soundtrack perfectly captures the era's musical style while providing energetic backing tracks that maintain excitement even during repeated attempts. Parry mechanics add an extra layer of complexity, rewarding skilled players who can time their defensive moves to gain special attacks and build meter for devastating super moves that can turn the tide of battle. Fourth entry showcases A Hat in Time, a delightful 3D platformer that successfully captures the magic and wonder of classic collectathon adventures from the Nintendo 64 era. This charming title follows Hat Kid as she travels through various worlds, collecting timepieces to fuel her spaceship and return home. The game excels in its level design variety, with each world offering completely different gameplay mechanics and visual themes that keep the experience fresh throughout. The movement system feels incredibly responsive and satisfying, featuring a diverse arsenal of abilities including wall running, diving attacks, and hat-based powers that unlock new traversal options. Character interactions are filled with personality and humor that appeals to both children and adults without relying on dated references or forced comedy. The soundtrack combines orchestral arrangements with modern electronic elements to create memorable themes for each area. Collectible items are thoughtfully placed to encourage exploration without overwhelming players with busy work. The game strikes an excellent balance between accessibility and challenge, providing optional objectives for skilled players while ensuring the main adventure remains enjoyable for platforming newcomers. Fifth spot is claimed by Hollow Knight, a Metroidvania masterpiece that combines atmospheric exploration with precise combat mechanics in a beautifully crafted underground kingdom. This indie sensation puts players in the role of a silent knight, exploring the ruins of Hollow Nest, uncovering the mystery behind the kingdom's fall while gaining new abilities and weapons. The hand-drawn art style creates a hauntingly beautiful world with intricate details and atmospheric lighting that brings each area to life. Combat feels weighty and satisfying, requiring players to learn enemy patterns and timing to succeed in both regular encounters and challenging boss battles. The interconnected world design encourages exploration and backtracking as new abilities unlock previously inaccessible areas filled with secrets and upgrades. The narrative unfolds through environmental storytelling and cryptic dialogue, creating a sense of mystery that drives players to uncover every hidden detail. The soundtrack, composed by Christopher Larkin, perfectly captures the melancholic beauty of the decaying kingdom. Challenge runs and additional content provide extensive replay value for players who want to test their skills beyond the main adventure. Sixth place goes to Super Meat Boy Forever, the long-awaited sequel that transforms the original's precise platforming into an auto-running adventure without sacrificing the series' trademark difficulty. This evolution follows Meat Boy and Bandage Girl as they rescue their kidnapped daughter Nugget from the evil Dr. Fetus. The auto-running mechanics initially seem limiting, but actually create new types of challenges that require different skills than traditional platforming games. Players must focus on timing jumps and attacks rather than movement speed, creating a rhythm-based experience that feels fresh and engaging. The randomly generated levels ensure that each playthrough offers unique challenges while maintaining the carefully crafted difficulty curves the series is known for. Visual improvements showcase detailed character animations and environmental effects that bring the meat-filled world with gruesome charm. The story mode provides plenty of content with multiple difficulty options, while the endless mode offers infinite replayability for score-chasing enthusiasts. Dark world variants of each level provide additional challenges that push even experienced players to their limits. Seventh entry features Ori and the Will of the Wisps, a breathtakingly beautiful Metroidvania that improves upon its predecessor in every conceivable way. This emotional journey follows Ori as they venture into a decaying world to help their friend Ku learn to fly while uncovering the truth behind the forest's corruption. The hand-painted art style reaches new heights of visual splendor, with each environment showcasing incredible attention to detail and atmospheric lighting effects. The movement system feels incredibly fluid and responsive, making traversal a joy as players unlock new abilities that open up previously inaccessible areas. Combat receives significant improvements, with a variety of spirit shards that allow for customizable playstyles and strategic depth. The emotional storytelling hits all the right notes without relying on dialogue, using visual cues and environmental details to convey powerful themes about friendship, sacrifice, and renewal. The orchestral soundtrack, composed by Gareth Coker, elevates every moment with sweeping melodies that perfectly match the on-screen action. Performance improvements ensure smooth gameplay even during the most visually intensive sequences. Eighth position belongs to Katana ZERO, a stylish neo-noir action platformer that combines precise combat with an intriguing time manipulation narrative. This cyberpunk-influenced adventure follows a samurai assassin who can slow down time and predict the future as he carries out mysterious contracts while uncovering a conspiracy. The one-hit kill combat system creates intense encounters where every move must be calculated and executed perfectly to survive each encounter. The time rewind mechanic serves both narrative and gameplay purposes, allowing players to restart failed attempts while reinforcing the story's themes about perception and reality. The pixel art style perfectly captures the neon-soaked aesthetic of 1980s cyberpunk with detailed character animations and environmental effects. The synthwave soundtrack provides the perfect backdrop for high-octane action sequences and contemplative story moments. Dialogue choices affect how conversations unfold, adding replay value and player agency to the narrative experience. The game successfully balances its mature themes and violent content with thoughtful storytelling that explores concepts of trauma, memory, and identity in meaningful ways. Ninth spot, Shovel Knight Dig, a fresh take on the beloved franchise that trades traditional side-scrolling for vertical exploration mechanics. This adventure sends Shovel Knight underground to pursue his nemesis Drill Knight through procedurally generated levels filled with treasure and danger. The downward-focused movement creates unique platforming challenges that feel distinct from both the original game and other entries in the series. Combat maintains the satisfying shovel-based mechanics while introducing new tools and abilities that complement the digging gameplay loop. The procedural generation ensures that each playthrough offers different layouts and challenges while maintaining the handcrafted quality that fans expect from the series. Character progression systems allow players to unlock new gear and abilities that significantly impact how they approach each descent into the underground world. The classic Shovel Knight art style and music remain intact, providing the familiar charm that made the original such a beloved experience. Boss encounters provide memorable highlights with creative designs and attack patterns that require different strategies than the traditional horizontal battles found in previous entries. 10th place goes to Sonic Mania, a triumphant return to form that perfectly captures the essence of classic 2D Sonic games while adding modern polish and creativity. This celebration of the Blue Blur's legacy combines reimagined zones from past games with completely original levels that feel like natural extensions of the classic formula. The physics engine faithfully recreates the momentum-based movement that made the original game so satisfying to play at high speeds. Level design strikes an excellent balance between speed-focused sections and more traditional platforming challenges that require careful navigation and timing. The pixel art style lovingly recreates the 16-bit aesthetic while taking advantage of modern hardware to add visual flourishes and smooth animations. Multiple playable characters each offer unique abilities and movement options that encourage replaying levels to discover new routes and secrets. The soundtrack features both remixed classic tracks and original compositions that perfectly capture the energetic spirit of the series. Special stages and bonus content provide additional challenges and unlockables that extend the experience beyond the main campaign without feeling like padding or unnecessary filler content. 11th entry presents The Messenger, an innovative platformer that seamlessly blends 8-bit and 16-bit aesthetics while telling a time-traveling ninja adventure. This unique experience begins as a straightforward action platformer before evolving into a full Metroidvania with time manipulation mechanics that completely transform the gameplay experience. The art style dynamically shifts between different eras as players travel through time, showcasing impressive technical artistry and attention to period-appropriate visual design. Combat feels responsive and satisfying, with a variety of ninja tools and abilities that unlock new movement options and combat strategies. The writing strikes a perfect balance between humor and genuine emotional moments, creating memorable characters and dialogue that enhance rather than interrupt the gameplay flow. The cloud stepping mechanic allows players to extend their jumping abilities by attacking enemies and projectiles, creating dynamic traversal possibilities that reward aggressive playstyles. The soundtrack adapts to the time period shifts, offering both chiptune and modern arrangements of the same melodies. Puzzle elements integrate naturally with the platforming mechanics, requiring players to think creatively about using their abilities to progress through increasingly complex challenges. 12th position features Gris, an artistic platformer that prioritizes emotional storytelling and visual beauty over traditional challenge-based gameplay mechanics. This meditative experience follows a young girl dealing with loss and trauma as she journeys through a watercolor world that gradually regains its color and life. The hand-drawn art style resembles a living painting with stunning visual effects and seamless animation transitions that create an almost dreamlike quality throughout the entire experience. Gameplay focuses on gentle puzzle solving and exploration rather than precise timing or difficult platforming sequences, making it accessible to players of all skill levels. The progression system gradually introduces new abilities that correspond to emotional growth and healing, creating a meaningful connection between mechanical advancement and narrative development. The soundtrack, composed by Berlinist, perfectly complements the visual artistry with piano-driven melodies that enhance the emotional impact of each story beat. Environmental storytelling conveys the protagonist's journey without relying on traditional dialogue or text exposition. The game serves as proof that platformers can be powerful artistic expressions beyond mere entertainment, offering a contemplative experience that resonates long after completion. 13th spot belongs to Rayman Legends, a visually spectacular platformer that showcases some of the most creative level design and art direction in the entire genre. This Ubisoft production combines traditional platforming mechanics with rhythm-based sequences that create unforgettable gaming moments. The UbiArt framework engine produces hand-drawn visuals that look like animated paintings in motion, with incredibly detailed character animations and environmental effects. Level variety keeps the experience fresh with underwater sections, musical stages, and boss encounters that each offer unique gameplay mechanics and visual themes. The Murphy Touch gameplay adds cooperative elements that work both in multiplayer and single-player modes, creating interactive puzzle elements that require timing and coordination. Daily and weekly challenges provide ongoing content that extends the experience well beyond the main campaign completion. The soundtrack features both original compositions and licensed tracks that integrate seamlessly with the rhythm-based level design. Character unlocks and collectible teensies encourage thorough exploration exploration without making completion feel like a tedious checklist of required tasks that interrupt the natural flow of progression. 14th entry highlights Spelunky 2, a masterful roguelike platformer that builds upon its predecessor's formula with deeper mechanics and improved level generation systems. This challenging adventure sends players into procedurally generated caves filled with treasures, traps, and secrets that create unique experiences with every attempt. The physics-based interactions allow for creative problem-solving and emergent gameplay moments that make each run feel distinctive and memorable. Character progression relies on player skill development rather than permanent upgrades, creating a pure test of platforming abilities and decision-making under pressure. The art style maintains the original's charm while adding visual improvements and smoother animations that enhance the overall presentation quality. Multiple paths through each area provide different risk-reward scenarios that cater to various play styles and skill levels. The online cooperative and competitive modes add social elements that extend the game's longevity and create opportunities for shared memorable moments. Random events and secret areas ensure that even experienced players continue discovering new content and surprises after hundreds of hours of gameplay. 15th position showcases Dead Cells, a roguelike Metroidvania that combines fluid combat mechanics with progressive exploration in a beautifully animated pixel art world. This challenging experience puts players in control of an undead prisoner, exploring a constantly changing castle filled with dangerous enemies and powerful weapons. The combat system emphasizes timing and weapon variety, allowing players to experiment with different combinations of swords, whips, shields, and magical abilities to find their preferred playstyle. The progression system balances permanent upgrades with temporary power increases, ensuring that each run feels meaningful while maintaining the challenge level. The hand-drawn animation showcases incredible attention to detail with smooth character movements and impactful combat effects that make every encounter feel satisfying. Level generation creates familiar layouts with randomized enemy placements and item locations, providing consistency for learning while maintaining unpredictability for replay value. The soundtrack features driving electronic beats that perfectly match the intense combat encounters and atmospheric exploration sections. Multiple ending paths and difficulty options ensure that players can tailor their experience to match their skill level and time commitment preferences. 16th entry presents Rogue Legacy 2, an innovative action platformer that turns death into progression through a unique genetic inheritance system. This sequel improves upon the original's formula by following generations of heroes as they attempt to explore a mysterious castle that changes with each death. The trait system creates diverse gameplay experiences, as each new character inherits random abilities, disabilities, and characteristics that significantly impact how they interact with the world. Combat feels responsive and satisfying, with a variety of weapons and spells that cater to different playstyles and strategic approaches. The castle layout changes between generations while maintaining logical progression paths that prevent players from feeling completely lost or overwhelmed. Visual improvements showcase detailed pixel art with smooth animations and impressive lighting effects that bring the mysterious castle environment to life. The progression system balances immediate upgrades with long-term goals, ensuring that every run contributes to overall advancement even when exploration attempts end in failure. Multiple character classes unlock different abilities and movement options that encourage experimentation and replay to discover optimal strategies for different situations and encounters. 17th position features Axiom Verge 2, a sci-fi Metroidvania that expands the series' lore while introducing innovative mechanics and parallel world exploration. This sequel creates a standalone story that connects to the original while providing fresh gameplay experiences through dimension-shifting abilities and drone mechanics. The pixel art style maintains the series' distinctive visual identity while showcasing improved animation and environmental details that create immersive alien landscapes. The hacking mechanic allows players to manipulate enemy behavior and environmental elements, creating unique puzzle-solving opportunities that go beyond traditional Metroidvania progression. Drone segments provide different gameplay perspectives and traversal options that break up the traditional platforming with remote exploration and puzzle-solving challenges. The interconnected world design rewards thorough exploration with meaningful upgrades and story revelations that enhance understanding of the overarching narrative. The atmospheric soundtrack creates tension and wonder that perfectly complements the mysterious alien environments and strange creatures. Multiple endings and secret areas provide incentive for multiple playthroughs while offering different perspectives on the complex sci-fi storyline that connects multiple dimensions and realities. 18th spot belongs to Guacamelee 2, a vibrant Metroidvania that combines Mexican folklore with dimension-shifting mechanics and satisfying combat systems. This colorful adventure continues Juan's story as he travels between the living and dead worlds to stop a new threat from destroying the fabric of space and time itself. The art style bursts with personality and cultural authenticity, showcasing beautiful hand-drawn animations and environmental designs that celebrate Mexican culture and traditions without resorting to stereotypes. Combat seamlessly blends platforming with fighting game mechanics, featuring combo systems and special moves that make encounters feel dynamic and engaging. The dimension-shifting ability creates unique puzzle-solving opportunities and traversal challenges that require players to think creatively about environmental interactions. Cooperative gameplay allows up to 4 players to tackle challenges together while maintaining the tight platforming precision that defines the single-player experience. The soundtrack combines traditional Mexican instruments with modern arrangements to create energetic tracks that enhance every moment of gameplay. Chicken transformation segments provide humorous gameplay variety while serving important narrative and mechanical purposes within the larger adventure structure. 19th entry presents Steamworld Dig 2, a refined mining Metroidvania that improves upon its predecessor with deeper mechanics and more polished presentation. This steampunk adventure follows Dorothy the robot as she searches for her missing friend Rusty while uncovering the mysteries beneath the desert frontier town. The digging mechanics create unique level progression where players literally carve their own paths through the underground world while discovering secrets and resources. The upgrade system provides meaningful character progression with new tools and abilities that open up previously inaccessible areas and mining opportunities. The art style perfectly captures the steampunk Western aesthetic with detailed robot designs and atmospheric underground environments that feel both mechanical and organic. Boss encounters are creative and memorable, featuring large mechanical creatures that require different strategies and newly acquired abilities to defeat. The soundtrack combines Western themes with electronic elements to create tracks that perfectly match the game's unique setting and tone. Resource management adds strategic depth without becoming tedious, encouraging players to balance exploration with efficiency as they upgrade their equipment and abilities throughout the adventure. 20th and final position goes to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, a gothic Metroidvania that successfully carries forward the Castlevania legacy with modern improvements in classic gameplay mechanics. This supernatural adventure follows Miriam as she explores a demon-infested castle to stop an apocalyptic ritual while gaining new abilities and uncovering dark secrets. The art style combines 3D character models with detailed 2D backgrounds to create a unique visual presentation that honors the series' heritage while feeling distinctly modern. The shard system allows for extensive character customization, with hundreds of abilities that can be combined and upgraded to create personalized playstyles. Combat feels satisfying and strategic with a vast arsenal of weapons and magical abilities that encourage experimentation and tactical thinking. The castle design follows classic Metroidvania principles, with interconnected rooms and secrets that reward thorough exploration and backtracking with new abilities. The soundtrack features orchestral arrangements that capture the gothic atmosphere while providing memorable themes for each area and boss encounter. Crafting systems and side quests add depth and replay value without feeling like mandatory padding that detracts from the core exploration and combat experience.